Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started today. And I asked the question, is it time to take the next step? And what we want to do is we want to help as many people as possible take that next step to becoming an enrolled agent. We're going to talk a little bit about practice rights before the IRS. We're also going to talk a little bit more about what the enrolled agent status really can mean to you. And then finally, we'll talk some more specifics about the EA boot camp that we have coming up starting October 1st. So first of all, there are new practice restrictions that have gone into effect or are going into effect beginning January 1st. And this is out of publication 947. Unfortunately, Circular 230 has not been updated with all of this information, but Pub 947 has. And beginning January 1st, only unenrolled return preparers who hold a record of completion for both the tax year and under examination and the year the examination is conducted may represent at any level a client before the IRS. Now, what this is referring to is the annual filing season program. And to have any representation rights at all, an individual needs to have completed the annual filing season program, not only for the year that the tax return was filed, but also in the tax year that you're actually doing the inquiry into the IRS, which really places a strong emphasis on getting some level of certification. It goes on in Pub 947 to say unenrolled return preparers may represent taxpayers only before revenue agents, customer service representatives, or similar officers and employees of the Internal Revenue Service, and that does include the Taxpayer Advocate Service, but only during an examination of the taxable year or period covered by the tax returns that they prepared or signed. So again, the limitations there are really tightening down on who is allowed to contact the IRS on behalf of a taxpayer. Unenrolled return preparers may not represent taxpayers regardless of the circumstances, requiring representation before appeals officers, revenue officers, counsel, or similar officers or employees of the IRS or the Department of Treasury. So again, just refortifying the fact that the practice limitations for non-enrolled providers are very, very limited effective January 1. So when you think about this and then you start looking at the enrolled agent program and just consider the benefits. First of all, increased credibility within the tax community. Expanded revenue streams because there's more that you can do as an enrolled agent, and that produces additional income potential for you in your tax practice and gives you more work to do year round if that's what your intent is. You receive recognition as America's tax experts by the IRS. If you go to the IRS website, it clearly states on there that enrolled agents are America's tax experts. It gives you unrestricted practice rights before the IRS. Now, what that means is you're not restricted to people whose tax returns you've prepared. So you can represent anyone as an enrolled agent. You can represent anyone who has a tax issue, and you can represent anyone in any state or any locale where there is an IRS office. So it gives you truly unrestricted practice rights before the IRS and all the way through the appeals process up to, but excluding tax court. But it also enhances your status with your clients. When you can tell your clients that you're an enrolled agent, it gives you improved status with them. And that's going to become more and more important as the IRS tries to communicate the need for identifying tax preparers that are committed to ongoing continuing education. The expanded revenue streams that are available to an enrolled agent, you can represent taxpayers at audits, but you can go beyond that and go on to the appeals process. You can act on behalf of taxpayers regardless of their location. I currently have clients in California. I also have clients in Florida, and I've never met any of them in person. You can expand your tax practice to a year-round service, as we mentioned before. So let's talk a little bit about the TaxProEZ EA Bootcamp. It's presented in conjunction with Fast Forward Academy. I've chosen Fast Forward Academy as my business partner in this, or as my as a value-added partner with Fast Forward. I have an extremely good relationship. I talk with Peter Bullock, who is their vice president of marketing, at least on a weekly basis, and sometimes it's almost a daily basis. And one of the things that we've discussed recently is the number of people that purchase their software, purchase their online system, and then never move forward, or get discouraged throughout the process. And there are many approaches to an enrolled agent boot camp. There are many of them that are offered in locations around the country. You've got travel expenses, and a good portion of the time that's spent in any boot camp, and ours is no different, is going to be time that you spend working through the system on your own. But you don't need to fly to a remote destination in order to be able to do that. So what we're providing is live interaction to build on the learning experience provided with the Fast Forward Academy online platform. Our EA Bootcamp format is 2 hours of live online content review. The emphasis is going to be on challenging areas. I review on a regular basis the trends in terms of where people are struggling, and I adapt each workshop to make sure that we're covering the material that is really necessary to help bring you up to speed and to fill in those gaps. Give you guidance on utilization of the Fast Forward Academy tools. Uh, some of them may be a little foreign to you, and so we'll help you get through that learning curve to get the maximum use out of the Fast Forward Academy sessions. And then feedback and accountability. For people that have signed up through me and many others, I have the ability to actually see your account if you grant that to me, and so I can give you personal coaching on ways to work through that. Now, I've got to emphasize that we are looking at 2 hours a week online, but it's going to require 6 to 8 hours per week in the Fast Forward Academy online system for you to keep pace to where at the end of each of the boot camps, you're ready to sit for that exam. And you also have phone support and email support. You have that support both from Fast Forward Academy, but you also have that support for me. And my office phone rolls over to my cell phone anytime I'm out of the office. And I think you'll find that I'm very, very responsive to any questions that you might have and getting you the help that you need. Part one of our boot camp will run from October 1st through October 29th. That's 5 Thursdays. We'll meet from 6 to 8 p.m. online in a similar environment to this environment, only it'll be a lot more interactive. That's a total of 10 hours online for part one. And then again, there are 10 hours on the webinar for part one. Again, remember, you need to be working 6 to 8 hours a week going through, and I'll show you how to set up a calendar in Fast Forward Academy so you keep on pace with the material as we're going through it. Part two is only offered during the days on Thursdays from 2 to 4. That's from October 1st through November 5th. That's a total of 12 hours, 6 sessions, because we need that extra session for part two. And then part three is just 3 sessions, November 5th through November 19th. That will immediately follow part one, and again will be from 6 to 8 p.m. For a total of 6 hours. What I recommend as a minimal strategy is you start off with part one. That provides a 2-year AFSP annual filing season program exemption for you so that you're an exempt filer for a 2-year period. It has a very high first-time pass rate of 97%. That's based on statistics through Fast Forward Academy for people that have gone through and have used the system as a determinant of when they're ready to take the exam. And we'll go through that more actually in the webinars themselves. The preferred strategy is to do parts 1 and 3. Uh, Again, you've got your 2-year AFSP exemption, but part 3 has the highest first time pass rate, greater than 97%. And then again, part 1 has a very high, above 97% pass rate as well. And the reason I recommend that is the testing environment through Prometric for the enrolled agent exam is a unique environment. When you go in, you'll go in with a pencil, a piece of paper, and a calculator. You cannot carry any reference material in. And then you're also learning a new system while you're in there. Although our online testing system with the sample exams that you'll be taking mirror exactly what you'll be experiencing there, but there's an added tension that goes on when you know it's for real. And so I recommend that people take part 3 first. It's the easiest part. It is the most intuitive part of the exam, and it lets you learn how to go through the exam, how to pace yourself, and how to build your confidence. Once you've completed part 3 and you walk out, you'll know immediately that you've passed it. As soon as you walk out the door, there will be a document printing. And if the first words on that document that come out of their printer says congratulations, you know you've passed that exam. At that point, you can generally with Prometric, and I've never heard of an exception to this, but generally they'll let you turn around and go right back in and sit for part 1. Or since you're setting up your appointments in 4-hour blocks, you can actually take a little break if you want to, and then go back in and take part 1. Using this strategy, I was able to pass part 3, exit, get my results, go right back in and pass part 1, and I was finished with my initial testing for both parts 1 and 3 within about a 2-hour time frame. And I recommend that as the way to go. That gets 2/3 of it out of the way. And many people are going to be in a position where that's all, especially when you look at 6 to 8 hours of additional time working on it, that's about all they can budget. Now, some people will go ahead and write all 3 parts, and that is doable as well. Our EA Bootcamp registration cost is $199 for part 1, $249 for part 2, and then $129 for part 3. Now, this is in addition to the Smart Bundle that is required for all students. I cannot work with any other provider's material because there's no way for me to keep up with what you're doing on somebody else's system, or to even understand how to guide you through somebody else's system. So if you already own the Fast Forward Academy Smart Bundle, and it doesn't make any difference when you purchased it, because the Smart Bundle is until you have passed all 3 parts. I had somebody on a conference call just a few days ago that started back in 2013. Their enrollment is still in place, and they are still able to use the Fast Forward system. And then there are some special discounts if you're taking multiple courses in this sequence. As an additional bonus, the IRS made a determination about 4 weeks ago that the IRS will provide up to 12 hours of continuing education credit for tax practitioners who participate in special enrollment exam prep programs for this year. And we are one of the few companies, and again, working in conjunction with Fast Forward Academy, we're one of the few companies that can provide you an opportunity to earn this CE credit by attendance in 1 or more of our boot camps. So that's an extra special bonus that you get by attending our boot camp. Remember, you must own or purchase the Fast Forward Academy Smart Bundle in order to participate in these boot camps.